I can start off just a little bit about Auburn. I really liked the way we competed, especially early in the game. I thought we had a really good competitive spirit. Thought we played hard. Really we're doing, I think, what we needed to do to have a chance in the game. And, it's there's a sequence there right there before the half with about 3, maybe 4 minutes left, I thought, if we needed to get at least another first down, I felt like. And we didn't, and we punted them down, I think, to the 3 or 4 yard line and missed 2 tackles. And which on the first down play, I mean, they just ran the ball, so I don't think they were going to do anything either. And but when he broke 2 tackles and got out to whatever he gained, 18, 19 yards, and then it was go time, and then they started going, and then we gave up the play before the half stuff. So, but anyway, I thought we did some good things defensively in the first half. They had to punt 3 times, they had a turnover. I really love what we were doing in the kicking game. I thought our coverage was fantastic on the kick cover, and stuff. We kicked it to them twice, and the best they could do was get the ball to the 21-yard line. So I was really impressed with that. I thought the field position game was good. We had 2 punts inside the 5 that we downed them on. So we were doing those types of things. We ran 45 plays to their 36 in the first half. We needed to do that. So thought we were doing good things. It was just hard to move the football, and I think that was the big thing really for us. It was tough sledding and stuff. And in the second half, and then when we got there, the 3 turnovers, obviously that was the end of that. But I really like what we did in the game. Thought we competed very well. You look at the game however you want to look at it. I know they were running what they run on offense, and defensively, they were up, press, blitzing, the whole deal and stuff. So, I said, depending on how you want to look at it. I thought they were doing what Auburn does, really until the game got a little bit out of reach to the end of the game. They're running the same plays. Defensively, they pressured a lot more than I thought they would. I mean, they were up there, and they definitely were taking it pretty serious in terms of what they were calling for sure and how they were doing it and stuff. So, but anyway, at the end of the day, defensively, I thought we did some good things. I really like our special teams. Offense, just didn't quite do enough. The end result of it, I probably would have taken other than the 3 turnovers. We had 333 total yards, 77 plays, ran 45 in the first half. Probably would have took that if you'd offered me that before the game other than the 3 turnovers. We did have a couple I guess that I singled out, thought they were really good. Rashad Harding actually played 63 plays in the game. It was in on 11 tackles, 7 solos, and 4 assists. So give that young man a lot of credit. I know he wasn't banking on that going into the game. We just didn't feel like David Griffin could go. And actually, David snuck in a play. Whenever Chase went out, we were trying to get Lee Marshall in. He actually ran in for a play, and we got him out. He wasn't ready to play. And then, Chase State went down early in the game. So I know Rashad wasn't banking on playing 63 plays, but he did, and I give him a lot of credit. Thought our safeties played better and did some good things in the game. We had 15 tackles from our free safety spot between Jenkins and Austin Holly. So I was excited about that. Roy Williams and Wesley Thompson had 11 tackles between them 2 at the weak safety spot. So really pleased with that. Kerry Starks came in the game, had 5 tackles. D. Ford had 3, for 2 guys that have been backup defensive linemen, which I was excited about that. And then it really was overall, I mean, if you go back and look at the game, our pass protection was really good, and especially against this football team. We actually called 40 pass plays, and of the 40 pass plays, there were 2 sacks. Caleb scrambled out twice, and then we threw the ball 36 times. So 2 sacks, minus 13 yards. Oh, I promise you I'd have taken that before the game started, especially what they were doing to other people and stuff. So I thought from a standpoint, if you look at our O-line and you look at our running backs and how we protected, because they definitely came after us. I mean, it wasn't like they were just sitting back and rushing 3 or 4. I mean, they were mixing it up and coming after us. So anyway, at the end of the day, I like the way we competed. We have to execute a little bit better to be able to beat a team like that, or be in it to the very, very end of the game. But it's very, very competitive, and the kids did what we asked them to do, is, hey, let's go in there, compete. And, I just kept telling them, let's make sure we empty our gun. Let's go and let's shoot all we got. And, hey, if it's not good enough, we'll get back on the bus and come home. And that's what we did. So Arkansas State this week 6-3 on the year, 5-1 in the Sun Belts. Lost by 7 to Nebraska, 43-36. Lost 44-21 to Southern Miss, and then lost to South Alabama 2 weeks ago, 24-19. I think they had 5 or maybe 6. I was following the game on my phone as they were playing the game, turnovers in that particular game against South Alabama. One less game than us because the Miami game got canceled. Well, if you look at them, good in all 3 phases of the game, which that's not surprising. But offensively, Hanson's thrown for 2,800 yards, and he's also rushed for 300 yards. Good football player. Warren Wan was out for a while. I don't know how many games. I was watching. I don't watch every game of their offense, but I was watching some of the games. He had to have missed at least 2 or 3 in the middle of there because he was out of some of the games. But he has 44 yards rushing. He looks like he's back healthy last week, and I like him. I think he's a good football player. Mack is their leading receiver, the tight end, which will be something a little bit new when your tight end is that heavily involved in the passing game. But he has 38 catches on the year. They use him in tight. They split him out. He's number 3 the field. He's number 2 the boundary. They move him around a lot, and they're doing a really good job with him. The rest of their receptions are spread out with Murray. He had a good game against us last year with 35 catches. But offensively, they're good. Defensively, they're in the top 3 in every major category on defense. Number 3 in total defense, number 2 in scoring defense. Just good football players, starting with they're leading the league in sacks, starting with Roland Jones, really special player when you look at what he can do. And from a defensive end position, they're playing, they're playing a little bit more man than what they played last year, but still I think they want to play zone, let 4 guys pressure the quarterback, and he's really good at it in terms of what they're doing. And in special teams, you look at every phase of their special teams, they're in the top 4 in every phase. They're number 1 in punt returns with Blaze Taylor, and 14 yards of return, 1 touchdown, and they're number 1 in kickoff coverage. So it's going to be a tough game. I mean, they've been the certainly one of the goal standards, I think, for our league for a while, and for a reason. I mean, they play good in all 3 phases of the game. Their kids play hard. They can run, and so we know this is going to be a tough game for us for sure. But looking forward to it. It's a last game at home for some of the seniors we have that have stuck it out, and we'll actually have 8 guys this week. Senior day, Jared Dunn is hurt, and he's actually going to miss. He has a prior commitment, but Jared's missed this year, but he's also a senior too. So anyway, I really appreciate those guys and what they've done, and we got some guys that stuck with it and have played, and got some guys that, if you look at it, which is I think is what you certainly want to see. They're having their best year. Brian Williams is having his best year that he's had here at ULM. Frank Sutton was until he got hurt, but I still think he's having a really big year. You look at a guy like Roland Jenkins, all of a sudden, and he's had a productive career, but he's having his best year this year. And a lot of it he got. We had to move some guys around because of injury, but he's making the most of his opportunity, and I think that's what you want to see. I mean, you want to see guys go out playing good, and certainly want to acknowledge those guys and appreciate what they've done because they stuck with it. And we only have 9 again, counting Jared, but we only have 2 on the entire depth chart on offense, which is Brian Williams and Frank Sutton. I mean, that's it. We don't have another senior anywhere on the depth chart on offense stuff. So I appreciate those guys staying here and staying with it, and it's paid off for them. Any questions?
When you look back at Auburn, the goal was to leave there a better football team. Do you think you guys accomplished that?
I think we did. And, what's never noted, everything's about Auburn, but we played more guys than they did. So, I mean, if you're paying close attention to the game, everybody that went played. I mean, we were subbing as freely, and I read somewhere somebody said that Caleb got benched. That's so untrue. I mean, we planned on playing. Actually, Garrett was going to go in the second quarter, and it happened. We were backed up and this and that. I said, no, I don't want to put him in there. So we weren't able to put him in the third quarter. But I wanted to try to give Garrett a chance, and then we wanted to try to get Will a shot too. So my goal was to get everybody in and to play everybody and give everybody an opportunity to play, and we did. So I think we leave a better football team because we competed And we got it. You know, everybody got opportunity to get in and play in that kind of environment on ESPN2. I think it was, you know, kids work hard, and I wanted to give as many kids as we could, and you know, we were able to travel 70 guys, and I think 68 of them, 67 of them got in the game and stuff, and that's what we were looking to do. So yeah, I do agree. I do believe that, Adam. I think we did leave a better team because, you know, I wanted to see us compete, and I thought we did. So.
Coach, you see a situation where you would have Evans and Garrett, you know, split snaps again this week like you did last week?
No. It was strictly we wanted to give guys an opportunity, you know, and to play in that kind of environment. Plus, I mean, you go weeks and weeks and weeks and never play. It makes your practice better when you get guys in, and we just haven't had one of those weeks. You know, every game up until now has been decided by 10 points, 9 points or less, and there just hasn't really been a situation unless, you know, you pre-script it that somebody's going to go in the game. And we felt like, you know, which I've done in a lot of these games. I mean, you try to get as many guys as you can, and then you play it by ear when you get to the second half, you know, where you're at and what you're doing and how you're competing. But, no, that wasn't the plan against App or anybody else. That was just kind of the plan here. I mean, we wanted to give guys opportunity, and plus, when we put Garrett in there, we feel like we can compete, you know. So, I mean, really wasn't. If you come out there and watch us practice, like I said, people, I think, make a bigger deal about, you know, what it does to an offense and this or that. But if you come out and watch us practice every day, they both take reps with the ones, and so. But no, that's not going to be in the plans. However, I think if Garrett would need to come in the future, that's going to make us better because it's been a long time since he played.
Yeah, Coach, you guys went toe-to-toe Auburn in the first half. I believe you guys held them to 94 rushing yards defensively. It was a 14-7 ball game in the locker room. But in the second half, you guys kind of ran and gassed a little bit. Do you see a pattern there with second half defense, and what do you think is the cause of all that?
I don't think we really ran out. You know, that's I guess one interpretation. I don't think we executed as good in the second half, and you know, we had an opportunity. We got the kickoff, got a first down, moved, and then, you know, but I think that, you know, if you look at some of the things that we did, we just didn't execute really as good as we needed to. But I agree. I think the first half, you look at the first half. I mean, just the first half, Kerryon Johnson touched it 18 times, just in the first half. He touched it 16 times against Georgia in the first half. Now, once they got the lead on Georgia, he ran it almost every play in the second half, you know, which got his touches. But, you know, like I said, I mean, and for him to have 18 touches, 15 carries, and 3 receptions in the first half, and for us to hold on. And I guess I'm just pointing out, I mean, they were doing what they do. And in the second half, they continued to do it. But, you know, it's – I don't know. You know, you look at it, and maybe you're right on one. Maybe we did. A couple guys maybe weren't quite as fresh, but I really point out to more of the execution of what we were doing. You know, if you look at it, we broke down a couple spots, you know, especially on offense. And, hey, the other thing is, you know, in those 3 turnovers, I thought they made 2 really good plays. You know, I thought their trap corner to the field, which they don't do a lot. The first turnover, I mean, we just missed it, to be honest with you. The kid made a great play. I thought the kid made a great play against B-Will. And, you know, and that's a good learning. That's a good learning for Brian. He's 6'5", and most guys in our league can't reach around him and strip him because he's a big guy. But they had a 6'3" guy covering him, you know, which just doesn't really happen a lot. So I think that's a good, you know, it was a good play by their kid too, but it's a good learning. So the execution part, I guess what I'm trying to say, and we got to execute better than that, and we just didn't.
I don't think Marcus got a look there on kickoff. Do you think the secret's kind of out on him? What kind of threat?
Well, that and the kid's an All-American, the kicker and stuff. So, you know, they were kind of doing their deal. I think we were kind of questioning if you look at their first 8 games, most of the very, very few returns. I mean, he pretty much touched back every time. For whatever reason, in the A&M game and in the Georgia game, all of his kicks weren't going out of the end zone. People were returning them. And I think as a result, we kept looking at numbers, and our coaches kept saying, boy, their kick coverage is not very good. Well, you don't cover them for 8 weeks. All of a sudden, you have to cover them the next 2 weeks, you know, but for whatever reason, He found, I guess we were thinking, well, maybe he's got tired legs, he's not going to kick it to the end zone. Well, he did and stuff. So, I get.
Piggyback on that, how much did that impact the game for you guys? Do you think that Marcus didn't touch the ball on special teams until the third quarter?
I think it, we were certainly like that, but, we didn't, what I look at is the overall field position and how it affected the game. And I think we more than held our own. I mean, we would love to give him an opportunity to return one, which at the end of the game, he got opportunity to return a punt at the very, very end of the game, and we didn't do a really good job of executing that. I think he got 2 yards or 3 yards. But I thought Marcus, now that you mentioned his name too, I thought he did an excellent job of fielding punts, which saved us a bunch of yards, like the one he fielded right there in front of me. I mean, I'm yelling, get away, and he comes running up there and catches it, gives us the ball at the 50-yard line. But if you go back and look at the overall numbers, we actually gained an advantage on net punting. And like I said, we started at the 25. They started at the 21. Our kick coverage was excellent. The 2 times we kicked it down there, I was excited about that our kids got down there and really got after them.
And, Coach, going back to the turnovers in Saturday's game, obviously you mentioned the one B-Will, they kind of undercut him a little bit. But the other 2, how cringeworthy was it watching that, especially knowing that they kind of Auburn in their next drive went to the end zone after that?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I mean, you can't, just can't give them good field position, not good teams and stuff. So, like I said, I mean, they're teachable moments, and, I thought there were different circumstances on all the 3. Their last kid, the last one for a touchdown, I mean, he's a deep third player, an undercut or dig route. I mean, he made a great play. I mean, that's just not something. I mean, the quarterback was right on the read, and he just came and ran and undercut it. And if you go back and look at the tape, too, I mean, there was actually a kid that had Garrett's leg. I mean, so he didn't get as much on it as he probably could have thrown. I mean, he's actually, he's on his knee about to tackle him. He throws the ball, and he probably didn't get as much on it as he could. But their kid made a play, and I give him credit. Like I said, a couple of them, I thought they made good plays, too. And it's just, it's throughout the course of the game. I think the best example I can give you is, we ran a reverse play to Marcus Green, who, we did some damage on those reverse plays this year. We had it set up pretty good. And the kid that has him man-to-man in the field chased him all the way across the field and tackled him for a 7-yard gain. That's just, that's a play when you hit it and, we're about to hit this one. We hit it for, 75 or 80 against South Al and hit it for whatever. And the kid, number 20, he had him man-to-man, and he runs reverse, and he runs all the way across the field and drops him for a 7-yard gain, which is good for us. We're excited for the 7. But, 2nd and 3. But in some other games, that's a big play. But that's the kind of players they have. It's the constant pressure and what they have and what they're able to do to you, starting with their front 4 guys. I mean, it's just a constant pressure. And, and there's some plays that throughout the course of the year for us in the space and what you have and when we execute the play, it's 3 yards or against Auburn, or it's 4 yards, or like in that case on the reverse, it's 7 yards against other people. I mean, it's a huge play, but boy, they can run and they have recovery speed to make up. And boy, I tell you what, the other thing too that you got to be impressed with, that I've been impressed with watching every game, and then when you watch our game, is how well they tackle. I mean, they can run and they can all the way across the board. We were. Tim and I and Coach Leger and I, Coach Cubic and I were talking last week about how good a tacklers 14 and 28 were. Well, Georgia did some bunch stuff where they came in and they would crack 28. Well, when they did, number 6 is a corner, and I mean, he just dropped Nick Chubb. I mean, just drop him. And it's a little bit different, than what we see each and every week. But number 6 is, how big is he, Tim? 200 pounds? 200?
206.
I mean, he's playing corner, and he's going to be a first-round draft choice, they say. And, I mean, he can come up and tackle you like linebackers can tackle. And, it's just they got a good football team. I give them credit. But everything you get against them, I'll say that too, is you earn it. They miss, in my opinion, one thing the whole night, and that was the first – we created a 3-man surface to the boundary. The first pass play we hit to Derek Gore, and you can see they miscommunicated the safety and the linebacker. They both basically took the shallow guy, and we hit Gore, and he ran down the sidelines for about 40 yards. Other than that, they didn't miss. I mean, what you get, you earn. And they just very well coached, and they just play good defense.
Jumping off that, it's got to be a confidence booster heading back into a league game.
I hope so. I really do. And, you know, I hope our kids, and I'll say this just exactly like I said before the App State game, you know, I'd be really, really disappointed if we don't compete well in this game. And that's basically all I want our kids to do. That's what I told them before the App game. And look, guys, I know they're good. I know they're leading the league, but I think we're to a point now where I'll be really disappointed if we don't get out there and we don't compete. And, you know, and we did against App State. And I'll say the same thing against Arkansas State. Good football team. You know, obviously it's going to be a tough game for us, just like the App game was, just like any games are. But last year we didn't compete against them. I mean, we were down 28-0 before I even turned around. And I'd be really disappointed if, you know, we don't get out there and, you know, and we don't get deep in the second half. We've got a chance to win this game. And if we do, then, you know, I think then obviously, you know, we have a chance. But that's what we're looking to do. That's what we're looking where we're looking to get this program. And I think the more times you can do that, and you keep giving yourself a chance, keep you know, getting into the games or whatever, you know, you're going to win these. You know, we're going to start winning more of these games.
Speaking of the league, you know, you look at the standings right now. You've got 4 teams tied for first place, and you got, you know, Louisiana Lafayette's down there a game back, and you guys are 2 back. You know, what's your take on how the kind of league's going this year?
I don't know really. I mean, I guess it's shaken out probably. You know, going back to the preseason polls, we're up above where they thought we would be, and so is Georgia State. But I mean, everything else, you know, they have some teams that are, I think, past where they thought they would be. Idaho, I think, South Owl. I mean, they were all, you know, so. But I think it's, if I remember right, I think the top 3 teams preseason-wise were App, Arkansas State, and Troy, I think. Huh? Is that right?
That's right.
If I remember right. And I think, 3 of the 4 are the ones with the 1 loss. So I think it's probably going, you know, we're 4-3, and I think we were somewhere toward the bottom, huh? I don't think we were at the very bottom like last year, but so, you know, I guess we're a little bit ahead of where people thought, I guess.
Hey, Coach, this is going to be another offensive slugfest on Saturday, potentially. You know, how reminiscent is Arkansas State's offense to Georgia State's offense and App State's offense?
A little bit different. I think, you know, Georgia State was probably a little bit more of a power run, you know, really using Penny Hart different ways. App State is more of a zone read option, play action type team. I mean, Arkansas State can run the football, and they will run it, but they're more of a perimeter run and fast paced. You know, throw it down the field more. So I think it's a little bit different. I mean, you know, in a sense that it's nothing we really haven't seen. I don't think it'll be anything but it is a little bit different in that sense than what App does, I guess, and what Georgia State does. But you know, they'll predominantly be in 11 personnel and 10 personnel, and they'll be in 11 personnel, and they'll look like they're in 10 because they'll flex the tight end, you know, stuff. But it's stuff that we've seen. It's stuff we do, you know. So it's not. It's just they got good players doing it. So, you know, that'll be the trick to defending it. It'll be, you know, getting lined up right. And the other key for us, too, without a doubt, is probably more than anybody I've seen, they throw more 50-50 balls than anybody we've played since Memphis. And that'll be critical because they're out there and they're whatever they are. I don't have the roster in front of me, but they got to be at least 6'3", 6'4" at a couple of those wideout positions and stuff. And so there's going to be opportunities to game him. He's going to throw it up there. And you know, we're gonna have to win a few of those.
You know, that being said, the familiarity with that offense, you know, saying you saw it in the game versus Memphis, you know, does it make the matchups a little bit easier knowing you know what to expect?
No, I said that in terms of 50-50 balls, you know, there are probably as many, I would say, that we've seen since Memphis, in the sense that, you know, going to the Memphis game, I remember pointing that out to y'all. There's going to be quite a number of 50-50 balls, and we'll have to come up with them. I didn't know that it was going to be raining sideways either before we went to the game. You know, so there weren't as many as I predicted. But if you watch Arkansas State, they've probably this year thrown more 50-50 balls. So their offense is different from Memphis, but they're like that, you know, in a sense with Memphis, that I anticipate, you know, that they're, especially when you pressure him. I mean, he's going to throw it down there, and they have taller receivers. They have 2 or 3 guys that look a lot like Brian does and stuff. And like I said, I don't know what their heights and weights are, but you're looking at it, but they look like big guys. So.
Any questions for Coach?
Yeah, Coach, obviously, we're going to honor the 8 seniors this Saturday, but also, and he's going to be honored quite a bit this week with Frank
Yeah.
Hoffman hanging up the headset. and
Yeah.
retiring. Just could give some comment about what he's meant to the program.
Well, obviously, he's meant a lot to ULM, and I just was very excited to meet him when I got here and, spend the time that I have with him. But there's a special place, I think, for people like Mr. Hoffman, or, I was fortunate at McNeese to work with a couple guys like that, like Louis Bonnet, who I think worked more football games than anybody ever did as an SID, 45, 46 years, and, guys that are just, they're institutions at your place, in itself and what they do and stuff. So, no, I'm excited for Mr. Hoffman, excited to have him at the quarterback club, to hear him, and I actually asked to do him justice. I asked Scott McDonald to introduce him because I wouldn't do him justice, 2 years or almost 2 years here, rather than somebody that's been around him. I wouldn't. I don't know how I would do him justice. Only getting in on the back end of 2 years for what he's really meant to the place, and I felt like that. Scott could do him more justice to what he's actually done through the years here and stuff than I could. But I'm excited for him. It's one of those deals where it's kind of, you're sad to see it happening, but you're excited for him, and you certainly appreciate what he's done.
Coach, defensively, what are the Red Wolves doing? How do they kind of making people give people nightmares throughout the year?
Front four, that's kind of where it starts with those guys, and other than Auburn, they'll look the part. They have the liners, an Alabama transfer, 25, big old guy, up in the middle there. I'm not sure the other kid's name, but he played there too, 69, I think it is, whatever. Big kid on the inside, and but they're gonna push the middle, and then they're gonna try to get you in third down. And Roland Jones is, they're gonna cut those DNs loose, and that's what they do. And they're gonna have a couple packages where they're gonna have 4 DNs in at one time rushing the passer. But that's what they want to do. Like I said, will they blitz us? Sure, they'll blitz some. But what they really want to do is, Auburn mixed in blitzes last week. But if you look at Auburn's numbers through the year, through the course of this year, they want to get you in third down, and they want to bring them front 4 guys. And that's pretty much what Arkansas State wants to do.